But if you had a daughter or a son that wanted to become a Muslim, would you be happy about that? I don't think so.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. It's Cynthia here. If you're new, kindly hit the subscribe button and also the bell just beside the subscribe button, so anytime I upload a video like this one, you'll definitely be the first to know, okay? Alright guys, well, in today's video we're going to be looking at this issue about Douglas Murray and the recent conversation now on the internet. And today's video I'm going to be looking at "This is not racism. Douglas Murray leaves young Muslims speechless on free speech." I just watched a video where Douglas Murray aired his view about, Muslim politicians and what is happening, in Europe. And then that video also left me speechless, I'm not gonna lie. So let's see what this particular video is about. And yes, beautiful people, without further ado, let us get right into this video.
I'm a British female. I love this country and I give this country. Now you're calling me a problem. I don't think I am. I think you are. Second point is, as a Muslim female, okay, my parents might not...
But do not mix up somebody, a thug, a racist, and so on, attacking somebody in the street with the right of Fleming and me to say what we see in the Quran, what we think of Muhammad, and maybe even asserting our right to say so.
Okay, all right, now...
You are about to see Douglas Murray tell the truth as it is. Douglas Murray breaks the silence on immigration and speaks what is on everyone's mind. In the following clip, Douglas Murray educates a young Muslim student. Douglas Murray did not hold back.
He's always not holding back.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tariq says that Europeans associate Islam with violence. There is some truth in that. There is also a very obvious reason for that, which is that Islam is associated with violence. It was not Buddhists who flew planes into the Twin Towers. It was not Hindus or Jews that blew up the London Underground buses a few years ago. And that simple fact has to be acknowledged if you're even going to start a dialogue. Now,
it's coming with so much heavy points.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a pantomime. I'd argue that Europe has done not too badly, considering the circumstances. In the middle of the last century, there was an almost negligible Muslim presence in Europe. At the turn of the 21st, in Western Europe alone, there were 15 to 17 million Muslims. That's a very fast migration, ladies and gentlemen, one of the fastest in human history. And no society would find it easy to deal with that kind of migration. As it happens, European societies, Western European societies have, I think, dealt with this much better than some would. Certainly, Muslims coming to live in Britain and in Western Europe enjoy more rights and better rights, among them freedom of worship, than they do in any Islamic country in the earth here today. We do have a problem. We have a problem when the failures of Islam throughout the world, the failures of all Islamic societies, come here into Britain. Their intolerance of freedom of conscience, their intolerance of apostates, their intolerance of freedom of expression and freedom of speech, their intolerance of minorities, other religious minorities, sexual minorities, their intolerance of gays, their dislike and distrust of half of the population, women, and many, many other things. And the call, what's more, for a parallel legal system within Britain and European societies. This is monstrous. No other group behaves like this, asks for parallel laws. This is a fundamental problem, and it's one we're going to have to deal with. It's a problem between a society,
really not holding
Western
back.
Europe, that believes that laws are based on reason, and Islam that believes that they are based on revelation. Between these two ideas, I'm not sure there is very much compromise for Europe. It is not Europe that has let down its Muslims, but the Muslims of Europe that have let down Europe. This is not solely something which we have to say we can never reconcile. Of course we can reconcile this, but we need to be honest about it. We need to be frank about it, and we cannot avoid things just because they are unpleasant. And if there were one thing I would wish Muslims in Europe could learn today, as fast as possible, it would be this: that you have no right in this society not to be offended. You have no right to say that because you don't like something, you can commit violence, or you would like something to be stopped or censored. You have no right to have more hate laws, or hate crime laws, or hate speech laws, just to defend Islam. You have to realize, the Muslims of Europe have to realize, that a society in which even your deepest feelings can be trodden upon is the only society worth living in. And the sooner we can learn that, the sooner that Islam can learn that within Europe, the better. It is not Europe that has failed its Muslims. It is Islam that has failed Europe. I'd argue Islam has failed its Muslims. Thank you.
Douglas Murray brings attention to the rapid and unprecedented migration of Muslims into Europe, a phenomenon that no society can easily absorb in a short period. This mass migration is one of the fastest in human history, and it's understandable that it would bring significant challenges. Despite these challenges, European societies have made commendable efforts to accommodate these new arrivals, providing them with rights and freedoms that are often lacking in their countries of origin. Europe's approach to integration has been notably generous. For example, countries like Germany and Sweden have welcomed large numbers of refugees, offering them housing, education, and health care. This level of support is a testament to Europe's commitment to human rights and dignity. In contrast, many Islamic countries, even wealthy ones, have been less willing to take in refugees, highlighting a stark difference in approaches. However, integration is not a one-way street. While European societies strive to be inclusive and supportive, it's equally important for Muslim communities to adapt to the values and norms of their new homes. This means embracing core Western principles such as freedom of expression, gender equality, and secular laws. These values are fundamental to European society and are essential for maintaining social cohesion and harmony. Statistics support Murray's concerns about integration. For instance, studies have shown that second-generation immigrants in Europe often experience higher unemployment rates and face greater challenges in education compared to their native counterparts. This indicates that integration efforts need to be more robust and that immigrant communities must engage more actively in the process.
Young lady here with the headscarf, and then we'll come to our panel.
I'm a British female. I love this country and I give this country. Now you're calling me a problem. I don't think I am. I think you are. Second point is, as a Muslim female, okay, my parents might not let me go somewhere late at night because people are racist to me. They tell me to go back home and they hurt me. I got hit by 2 white guys and they laughed at me because I'm a scarfy, okay? Last point is to Mr. Fleming, about the point where you said about the religion, changing religion. Every person has the right to. No one says anything about that. But if you had a daughter or a son that wanted to become a Muslim, would you be happy about that? I don't think so.
Douglas, I want to ask you, you heard some of the people from the floor there, the woman complaining about attacks on her because she's described as a scarfie because she wears a head veil. I mean, that is something that you would regret. I mean, that doesn't promote social cohesion,
Nobody thinks that any physical attacks or any such thing could be a good thing to happen. Of course not. Of course there are. Let's make sure we're right.
Talking about
prejudice exists in society. Let's just be absolutely clear as an audience. Prejudice undoubtedly exists in this society. It exists across racial groups, including from minorities to other minorities, after all, which is one of the things we see increasingly in Britain these days. And it is also the case that people, in particularly famously lower socioeconomic groups, are likely to feel hatred for other groups. That is one of the things that has to be tackled, and everyone, I think, in this hall, I'm sure, we're in agreement that that should be tackled. But do not mix up somebody, a thug, a racist, and so on, attacking somebody in a street with the right of Fleming and me to say what we see in the Quran, what we think of Muhammad, and maybe even asserting our right to say so.
Okay, all right, now...
I completely agree with Douglas Murray on this one. Freedom of speech is the cornerstone of Western civilization. It allows people to express their ideas, challenge prevailing norms, and foster innovation and progress.
Yeah, that's true.
However, this freedom also means that people will inevitably encounter opinions and expressions that they find offensive.
Sure.
The appropriate response is not to demand censorship or special protections, but to engage in dialogue and debate. A notable example of the clash over free speech involves the publication of cartoons depicting the Prophet Muhammad. These cartoons, first published in a Danish newspaper in 2005, sparked global protests and debates about the limits of free speech. While many in the Muslim community found the cartoons deeply offensive, the broader Western response emphasized the importance of protecting the right to free expression, even when it is controversial or provocative. Statistics show that societies that uphold freedom of speech tend to be more innovative and economically prosperous. According to the World Economic Forum, countries with strong protections for free speech, such as the United States and those in Western Europe, often rank higher in global innovation indices. This correlation underscores the value of maintaining a culture where ideas can be freely exchanged. Prominent figures have supported Murray's stance. For instance, Salman Rushdie, who faced death threats over his book, The Satanic Verses, has consistently argued for the importance of free speech. Rushdie contends that giving in to demands for censorship only emboldens those who seek to suppress dissenting voices. He emphasizes that a free society must stand firm in defending the right to critique and question all beliefs, including religious ones.
Well, guys, that's it. Like, the title of the video says this is not racism. For sure, this is actually not racism. I feel like Douglas Murray is not trying to instigate racism against the Muslims. He's just pointing out questions that, you know, Europeans want to be asked. If you're going to be in a place where freedom of speech is paramount, then you're going to see a lot of speeches that you don't even like to hear. But you can't do anything about it because it's freedom of speech. Your own freedom of speech might not be what the other person wants to hear. And then your own opinion might also not be what the other person wants to hear. That's why there's room for debate. There's room for dialogue. There's room for conversation. So that the two opposite people, the two opposite opinions can come to an understanding. Basically, this has nothing to do with racism, if you'd ask me. But yes, beautiful people, let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Please leave your comments. Very, very friendly. We're not trying to insult anybody in the comments. We're trying to keep it free from insults, but at the same time airing our own opinions. And yes, guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, do not forget to give the video a fast thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to the beautiful channel, okay? And also, do not forget to click the bell just beside the subscribe button, so anytime I upload a video like this one, you'll definitely be the first to know, okay? All right, beautiful people, with that being said, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.